सुनने वाले को ज़रा ज़्यादा का बहुत बहुत आदाब नमस्कार. Good afternoon. You're very welcome to the program. You're listening to Apna Radio broadcasting at 93.9 Dublin South FM. Each Thursday I'm here until 4 o'clock and I hope you can be with me until 4 o'clock. And this is what it is. India time 8:30 and in the evening I hope you had dinner there or in the middle of the dinner if you are in India, because a lot of people do eat around that time. But rest of the world, I'm not sure where you're tuning me from, either Dubai or Amsterdam or in Spain or in New York, wherever the local time is for you. Thank you very much for listening to me all over the world that you do. Every Thursday, I'm here and you are with me. So don't go anywhere because today I have quite a lot in the store. And I'll kick off with a particular item. Obviously, use the news of the week. And so Charmaine is here to take the news item away. And once the news is done, then I will be moving into the second important item. And then the last and third item is the guest in the studio, Vanditta. Vanditta will talk about herself first. And then she'll talk about it why she's in the studio. So I leave that to her to talk about whatever she has to talk. A very important thing, in fact. So therefore, sit back, relax, and listen to what Charmaine has bought for the week.
And you are listening to Apna Radio 93.9 Dublin South FM. On India this week, UK's Indo-Pacific Minister Seema Malhotra has defended her government's immigration proposals during a visit to India, while expressing concern about a rise in foreign students seeking asylum at the end of their studies. Under the new plans, some migrants could have to wait up to 20 years before they can settle permanently in the UK, and the qualifying period for indefinite leave to remain will be extended from 5 to 10 years. The proposals will apply to an estimated 2.6 million people who arrived in the country since 2021. They have drawn criticism from some quarters, including a few Labour MPs, even though the Conservatives gave the measures a cautious welcome. The reforms are in line with what countries around the world do to stop the abuse of their immigration systems, Malhotra told the BBC in the southern Indian state of Chennai. India remains one of the UK's biggest sources of international students, but demand is cooling. The number of Indian students heading to the UK has fallen 11% from last year as tougher immigration rules kick in. This has triggered concern among UK universities, which rely on foreign students and are already under financial strain. According to the Migration Observatory at the University of Oxford, India was the top country of origin for foreign students in the UK in 2023 to 24, making up 25% of arrivals. China followed at 23%, while Nigeria made up 8%. Malhotra said while Britain still very much welcomes Indian students, her government was working with universities to ensure they are genuine foreign students. During a visit to India in October, Sir Keir Starmer said the UK would not relax visa rules for Indian nationals, despite Delhi's long-standing push for easier mobility in return for trade concessions. Malhotra rejected the idea that Britain wants deeper trade while shutting the door to Indian professionals, citing the nearly 500,000 visas granted to Indian nationals last year across work, study and visitor categories. The detention of Pema Wangjom Thondok, an Indian citizen living in the UK, at Shanghai Airport has fuelled a diplomatic row between Delhi and Beijing. Ms. Thongdok said she was detained by immigration officials while travelling from London to Japan via Shanghai last Friday because her passport lists her birthplace as the northeastern state of Arunachal Pradesh. China disputes India's claim over the region and considers Arunachal its territory, calling it South Tibet, a claim India firmly rejects. On Tuesday, India said it had lodged a protest against Ms. Thongdok's detention and reiterated that Arunachal was an integral and inalienable part of India. The state, which falls along a 3,440-kilometre de facto border in the Himalayas called the Line of Actual Control, has been a source of tension between the Asian neighbours for decades. China says it considers the whole of Arunachal Pradesh its territory, while India claims the Aksai Chin Plateau in the Himalayas, which is controlled by China. Troops from the countries clashed along the border in the town of Tawang in Arunachal Pradesh in 2022. The fight took place even as India and China were working to re-establish ties after a clash at the Galwan Valley in the Ladakh region in 2020 and led to a complete breakdown in ties. However, in August, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, who was in Delhi on a 2-day trip, said the neighbours should view each other as partners rather than adversaries or threats. Ms Thorndike's detention amidst these friendly overtures has raised eyebrows in India and made national headlines. A plume of volcanic ash from Ethiopia has swept across the Red Sea through Oman and Yemen and reached Delhi, the Indian Meteorological Department has said. The eruption of the 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐽 volcano in Ethiopia, which was dormant for several thousand years, began on Sunday morning, sending an ash column thousands of feet into the atmosphere. Several flights have been cancelled, delayed or rerouted in India because of the ash, with the country's aviation regulator asking airlines to strictly avoid affected areas. The level of ash contamination is unclear, experts say, but it is unlikely to affect Delhi's air quality, which was very poor as per officials' reading on Tuesday. In a statement on X, IndiGo said it was tracking the situation in coordination with international aviation bodies. Mumbai Airport has asked passengers to check the status of their flights before leaving for the airport. India is examining a request from Bangladesh for the extradition of the country's former Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina, the Indian Foreign Ministry spokesperson said this week. The request, first made in December and reiterated this month after Hasina was sentenced to death for her role in the killing of student protesters last year, was being examined in India as part of ongoing internal, judicial and legal processes, he said. Hasina fled to India in August 2024 at the height of the protests. The Indian city of Ahmedabad was formally named as the host city for the 2030 Centenary Commonwealth Games, following approval from the Commonwealth Sport membership at the 2025 General Assembly in Glasgow on Wednesday. Ahmedabad, also known as Ahmedabad, in the western state of Gujarat, had been recommended in October, following an evaluation process of candidate cities, with both Ahmedabad and Abuja, Nigeria, submitting bids. The 2030 Games will commemorate 100 years since the inaugural event in Hamilton, Canada. The North American country was expected to be in the running but did not bid. India hosted the Commonwealth Games for the first time in Delhi in 2010. And finally, Bollywood star Dharmendra has died in the Indian city of Mumbai at the age of 89. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tribute to the actor, saying his passing marks the end of an era in Indian cinema. Dharmendra, who often described himself as a simple man, commanded extraordinary affection and loyalty from his tens of millions of fans. Best known as Veeru, the lovable petty criminal in the 1975 blockbuster Sholay, he appeared in over 300 films, many hits, captivating audiences for decades. Songs featuring him topped the charts, and his romance and marriage with Hema Malini made headlines. Dubbed the original He-Man of Bollywood and Garam Dharam, the actor often made it to global lists of most handsome men in his heyday, and female fans were known to sleep with his photographs under their pillows. Dharmendra always said he was embarrassed by talk of his good looks and attributed it to nature, my parents and my genes. And that's all on India this week. You have been listening to Apna Radio 93.9 Dublin South FM.
Thank you so much, Charmaine. Once again, I would like to correct a little pronunciation. It's not Hema Malini, it's Hema Malini, one of the topmost female superstar of Bollywood industry. Anyway, thank you very, very much indeed for covering a vast majority of the news, covering from weather to situation what's going on at the moment in the border of Himachal Pradesh. That's another bone of contention when it comes to China. Anyway, time has come to talk about what Sharad has bought in the store, because Sharad has got a very, very important news item that has been making a big news all over the world, particularly in India, because a new app has been introduced by the government of India, and which is of course is the breach of personal privacy laws in the country. and there was an order to install that app pre-manufacturing or during the manufacture, and any phone that actually been produced and manufactured in India must have that app, and it cannot be deleted. It cannot be. It's a monitoring, kind of like a big brother watching you. You know what I mean? Security app is called security app and all that, but is it a security app or is it something else? We'll hear from Sharad about it, and so sit back and relax and listen what Sharad has got to say about it.
So the Union government has introduced a Sanchar Saathi mobile application, and it is being framed by the government as a tool to curb cyber fraud, track stolen devices, and prevent misuse of telecom resources. But then this attempt has created a wider debate of surveillance, security, and future of digital freedom in India. Well, it is just not digital freedom, it is the freedom of free behavior by Indians. So the debate is hot and fiery. While the government is clarifying that the app would be pre-installed on the mobile devices but remain optional, allowing the users to delete it if they choose. Yet the storm of this criticism it has unleashed refuses to subside, because deleting the app may just be for the surface. In the back end, there could be residual software which will covertly do the purpose as the object and the mandate of the government can be. For now, this app is being treated as an innocent app, but what the future holds, that's even more dangerous and important. The core concern, therefore, is very simple. Is this merely a security tool to stop cyber fraud, or is it one step forward, deep towards institutionalizing digital surveillance on people of India? The government argues that the app is meant to protect citizens from purchasing non-genuine handsets and to simplify the reporting of telecom issues. But the idea is very simple. The argument is very simple. If the undergraduate school-going children can have access to drugs being sold in front of their colleges and schools, why can't the police and the law enforcement know the non-genuine handsets being sold and used in the country? Simple argument. The critics counter this particular argument of the government by using the metaphor of Trojan horse, the one that may be used not now, in years to come, to compromise the privacy, monitor citizens' activities, and eventually enable political or behavioral manipulation. Governments across the world have used this method, and there have been large-scale exposure about these, and therefore this argument becomes very, very important in India with respect to government-pushed compulsory Sanchar Saathi application. In other words, we can say that this is an Indian version of Pegasus, and as the opposition describes it, it is an instrument capable of turning India into surveillance-driven state. So there are a lot of uncomfortable questions about who controls the behavior of Indians, who controls the data, and it will go up to what end in case this application is used by the government-pushed application on all the mobile phone users of India. The government maintains that India's rapidly expanding digital population requires proactive measures to prevent cyber fraud or crimes like SIM swap fraud or identity theft and the use of stolen mobile phones in criminal activities. In fairness, cybercrime has definitely surged in India. Cybercrime fraud and the financial losses are running into thousands of crores in India, and it has definitely outpaced the capacity of law enforcement agencies and telecom regulators. So scammers are all over. There is hardly a mobile user who have not been scammed through an OTP or a platform that has been proactively adapted by the criminals. Yet, this argument of the government rests just on the shaky ground because over the years, the government has been playing heavily on the information and misinformation in this country. In fact, India is known to be branded as the misinformation capital of the world. And there have been instances, not few, but in very large numbers, where very senior politicians of this country have used misinformation as a tool for political gains. and in many aspects, they have been able to change the outcome of the election results. Therefore, the application's broader capability is suspected to extend well beyond fraud reporting. Now, the fundamental issue that is troubling those against the application, and that is about the consent. Even if the app is deleted, the pre-installation itself indicates a presumption that the government can place software on private device without prior approval. Once such a precedence is established, what comes next? The concern does not end with individual privacy. If an app embedded in one's software stack can extract data, whether activated or not, it can potentially compromise the privacy of people communicating with the other users as well. In other words, the application risks violating not just the privacy of the mobile owners, but also that of the individuals who may not even have used the mobile phone. And therefore, there is a repeated fear rooted in the past global experience in which the app, which appears to be deletable, may not truly be removed. The surface level icon that you click on your mobile phones, they may disappear, but the background process may remain active and it may continue to capture data, give a backdoor entry to the government or the authorities, and create a Pegasus type of history. This cannot be dismissed just as a paranoia because Pegasus is real. Trust requires transparency, but Sanchar Saathi application, as a critics argue, operates like a black box. No one outside the government knows what data is collected, how long it is stored, or who has access to it. Therefore, the opacity is now feeding suspicion, particularly in the political environment where trust is already polarized. The manipulation of information creates silent transformation, and this transformation is a behavioral manipulation. If you do a careful assessment, if you observe, after 2014, India has witnessed a dramatic surge in hyper-targeted messaging across WhatsApp and social media platforms. Whether one agrees with political content or not, the transformation of public behavior is unmistakable. Information has become a weapon. Everybody knows it's an algorithm which amplifies a particular narrative. Digital ecosystem, digital environment are flooded with content that has reshaped social attitudes, voting behavior, communal perceptions, and cultural anxieties. Hindu supremacy has come in as a transformation after 2014. Either we are realizing it or not. The political narrative has changed from development, from growth, from education to religion. So the nation's emotional profile has changed by persistent stream of curated content. And this is the fear of manipulation through silent transformation. There are lessons from global precedents. The skepticism is just not unfounded, like I said. Edward Snowden's revelations expose the extent the American and the British surveillance program. They have targeted not only citizens but also leaders in their friendly and allied democracies. One of the most shocking cases was the surveillance of German Chancellor Angela Merkel, and that is not when she was the Chancellor, but in her early years of junior political workers. If United States can spy on key European leaders, its own friends, its own allies, simply because it's technically possible, India would ask whether its own system can ensure restraint, accountability, and ethical boundaries. Snowden, if you Google his history, his actions, that has revealed a simple truth that no government can be trusted with unchecked access to citizen data. Not because governments are inherently malicious, but because power without oversight inevitably expands until it breaches personal freedoms. Today, billion people have faith and trust on Mr. Modi. He is next to a godly man in India for millions of people. But the truth is he is 75. Ideally, he should have retired according to his own party's constitution. But then there is a risk with his successors having such a powerful application and access to the data. Do the country want to trust the future of this country based on the trust on Mr. Modi currently? The United States and the United Kingdom, despite their democratic institutions, have succumbed to this temptation of an overreach, of power without oversight. Their intelligence agencies captured years of communications, data, personal habits, personal profile, political inclinations, behavioral profiles of millions. It is a naive to assume that any government, Indian or otherwise, would behave differently when presented with some similar capabilities. There is a legal conundrum also. If an app is forcibly installed on all devices, any data extracted from a criminal's phone becomes legally questionable. Why? Because the defense lawyer can argue that evidence was either tampered with or planted, since the government controlled part of the phone's software. And therefore, this creates a dangerous loophole. The evidence collected through such a Sanchar Saathi app may become inadmissible in the court, undermining the very purpose of the app in criminal investigation. Worse, if the app itself becomes a tool for planting evidence, as critics fear, the legal system becomes vulnerable to manipulation, and this undermines both the Indian justice and the public trust. One last thing before I leave. If Sanchar Saathi is meant to affect over 1 billion people, why has there been no detailed formal debate in the parliament? Why have opposition parties, civil society groups, digital rights advocates, legal experts, and technologists not been invited to discuss this architecture? A policy of such a big magnitude, touching every Indian citizen, every business traveler, rather, every tourist, millions of tourists we have, and every resident, it demands transparent scrutiny. Therefore, silence is inappropriate and indifference is dangerous. Suddenly, there is an announcement that this application will be on all the mobile phones. That is going to affect even the business travelers to India, even the tourists to India. All in all, when democracy avoids open debate, suspicion becomes inevitable. And the bigger fear is that India is becoming a laboratory of mass social engineering. India has vast population, diverse demography, and rising digital infrastructure. And it makes it a perfect testing ground for behavioral experimentation. With data from 1.4 billion people, 140 crore people, many sophisticated systems can identify patterns, manipulate emotional responses, and influence behavior at a scale. And this concern is not theoretical. It is rooted in global precedents, domestic political realities, and technological capabilities. So, what's the path ahead? Today, the citizens must ask these difficult questions. Who control my data? Who verifies the limit of this control? What safeguards are there against the misuse, the political misuse? And what happens when a political leadership changes? When Mr. Modi retires? Can India build a security tool without compromising civil liberties? Even with great democracy as defined, we have to choose a balance between security, scrutiny, and freedom. While digital security is a national necessity, digital surveillance, if by as suspected by Sanchar Saathi, it is a national threat. And in the age of AI-driven profiling, the consequences of such unchecked power are not simply political, they are civilizational. India as a great civilization is under a threat with a small mobile application in your hands. With those concerns, with those fears, with those apprehensions, I leave you until next week. Stay safe, stay informed, and dutifully ask questions. Bye for now.
Your community radio for South Dublin. Dublin South FM.
If I was cyberbullied, you put your arm around me, right?
If the videos on my feed tried to push me to extremes, would you intervene?
What if I was pressured into a dangerous challenge?
Or became bombarded with videos of self-harm?
Disordered eating?
Suicide?
Children and young people can encounter violence, bullying, explicit content and many other dangers online. Harmful content is never acceptable. Report it to the platform where you see it. Visit Commission the Mound at www.cnam.ie for more on how to report.
Broadcasting from the Dundrum Town Centre, this is Dublin South FM.
Indeed, frightful thoughts. That's all I can say, as the ad says and as the Sharad says that. But by the way, before I went on air, I particularly got this straight away from India, a news that the government today withdrew the ordered manufacturing pre-installation of cybersecurity app Sanchar Saathi on smartphones. All smartphones is by manufacturers. So the source is PTI, Press Trust of India. So it has to be true. And it is true because Sharad has also confirmed that from India itself. He's in Mumbai at the moment. And the government today withdrew the order manufacturing pre-installation of cybersecurity app Sanchar Saathi on smartphones by manufacturers. So, but it's going in that direction. I mean, obviously, Rajiv Sardesai has also mentioned that in his clip, and it's online at the moment, so you can watch it and everything. But that's where we're heading. What can I say? I mean, it is a frightful thought that everybody will be watched. Every move of every person who has a mobile phone in their hands can be tracked. It's like tagging. When the prisoners come out of the prison, they can be tagged by electronic tagging. And therefore, by the government of India, if that is going to happen, not now, and now has been withdrawn, but maybe civil liberty groups has to come up, and maybe the opposition would cry louder to stop this kind of surveillance. I mean, national security is one thing, and it's very important. But surveillance without, unlimited power, without any checks and balances is dangerous, and is dangerous for every citizens worldwide, whether you are OCI, overseas Indian citizens, or whatever. Anyway, this is a big subject, and we definitely will return back to that subject again, because this story is going to stay here for a long time. And as the ad has said that this is surveillance everywhere, we are concerned. But the other thing was just happening. I'm going to talk about that briefly before I would move into the third major item of my guest, Vanditta, who is patiently waiting in the studio. So my apology, Vanditta, this is because there are a couple of very important issues. And perhaps you can text your mum to come in there, and maybe you can all ask her to come in there to film it if she wants now to say that she has a mum who is just basically going to film us, and we will be viral. So we certainly will be viral, and will be tagged in our social media and in our position. But before that, I would do that. Obviously, everybody must be following the visit of Mr. Zelensky. Zelensky has been in Ireland, and I think today he's leaving, or tomorrow he's leaving. He is obviously the most important person right now, the president of Ukraine, who is basically rallying around Europe to have a support and financial support, military support, in the context of, land grabbing, issue that has been going on by the Russia. And the conflict is now 4-year-old. And in the last 4 years, in fact, 187 billion euro has been committed by the EU for the past 4 years. And the next 5 years is going to be more money will be committed. Yesterday, he obviously handshaked with the president of Ireland. He went to the the President House, and then he went to Dáil Éireann, and he made a speech and all the rest of it. And then he, got 100 million euros on the spot, concrete offer from the Micheál Martin, our Taoiseach, and plus 25 million on top of that into so-called non-combatant budget. Now, what is the non-combatant budget? Is it going to go to the public or not? It has to be seen. But we have doled out our own 100 million, 125 million from our budget, our coffers, the state coffers, to Mr. Zelensky. Now, who is Mr. Zelensky and why he has become a president of Ukraine is something that needs to be checked. He's been to Ireland with his, solicitor partner, who's been now going through the corruption charges and has been removed from that position. But he was here in Ireland in 2017, in Drogheda, in fact. He was doing a stand-up comedian because he is a performer. He performs his stand-up comedian shows and things like that. So it was survived, and the people was, he was brought in by Nick Levchenko. Nick Levchenko was the gentleman who was involved in promoting the entertainment aspect of the Russian or Russian-speaking or Ukrainian community in Ireland. And so therefore Zelensky was brought in as a guest. He loved Ireland, and why not? Because the country is the best country in Europe. And so therefore he thought that Ireland is the darling of the war. And indeed, Ireland has supported Ukrainian war whatsoever. But anyway, I'll play another ad, and after that, this is a big issue and a bigger story that will continue, I would say, again and again. But I would try to actually play this ad again, and then I will be talking to our guest, Vandana, and Vandana will be talking about her business venture, and she'll talk. I know nothing about it. I'll hear everything from her. But sit back, relax, and enjoy her talk. But I'll take a quick ad break.
Dublin South FM.
You wouldn't buy a car without knowing its history. So why would you buy a story without knowing who's telling it? Come here and I tell you. It's not always easy to verify what you see, read, or hear. But now there's help. Visit www.bemediasmart.ie. Stop, think, check. Be Media Smart. Brought to you by Media Literacy Ireland, supported by RTE.
93.9 Dublin South FM.
Vandana, I'm saying Vandana. Why am I saying Vandita? Vandita, you're very welcome to the program, and thank you very much indeed for coming along. And tell me about yourself to the listeners first. Who you are, what do you do here?
Hello everyone. Thank you for listening to the show today with Siraj ji. My name is Vanditta Agarwal, and I came here in Ireland back in 2017 as a student of MSc in Digital Media Marketing. Since then, I have been residing in Ireland, and now I have started my own venture called 𝐢𝐭𝐻𝐿 Digital Business, and it is a digital marketing agency where I help small and medium-sized businesses develop their website development, social media marketing, PPC ads, on-page SEO, and things like that. Last year, in 2024, I have written my own book on how to create your business vision, your own analysis. So this book is all about entrepreneurship and how people can actually learn entrepreneurship by reading the book. It's a workshop-style book where after every chapter, there is notes for you to understand what is your personal budget, how much you can allocate towards your business, and what needs to be done when you look at other people and learn from their own mistakes. So this is a guide to anyone who wants to start their own business and get into the entrepreneurship mindset.
Very good. Very impressive to hear your academic ventures as well as the technical ventures. This is as I said, this is gelling very well with the program today, because we'll be talking about that, all about how these technologies are developing and how these technologies can be misused and used and things like that, but cleverly. So if you have done your master's in digital marketing, in digital technology or in cybersecurity, which marketing?
Digital media marketing.
Digital media marketing. And was it a successful course?
It was very good, yes. It was a 1-year course, and it was really successful.
Was it with DBS?
Yes.
Okay, Dublin Business School. Very good. They do have, as you probably would know, that they also have AI courses as well now. And it is fascinating that how our Indian students are making ways into this kind of industry and making it. So when it comes to the entrepreneurship, you are helping the companies, you are helping individuals. How do you operate?
So I usually help small and medium-sized businesses, usually up to 1 to 50 employees. And I help them develop their whole digital transformation.
Okay.
Like developing their booking system, e-commerce stores,
Okay.
How do they act digitally, document collection.
Very good.
How do they interact with their client, promoting them on social media marketing. So all of those sectors into the one platform. So from their basic need of digital transformation towards their marketing. So
Lovely.
we have our own AI-based platform, which is called Content AI. So we build the website on that particular platform, and that's a robust platform.
Okay. So the previous platforms like WordPress and all that is outdated now?
It is indeed.
Okay. So this is the new platforms where you can actually build a website.
Yes, it's a drag and drop editor without the coding skills.
Oh, very good. Very good. So that must be very, although specialized. And are you reasonable in your services, or how do you charge? How do you tariff it?
So totally depends. You see, I am sure everyone has heard of the local enterprise offices, which are the government initiatives of Irish government. So they help small and medium-sized businesses. So all our services are priced based on their thresholds.
Very good.
That they provide grants to local businesses. So we have priced all our services based on what they're providing grants for.
Okay.
So our services are not very at the higher end, neither they are at the lower end, but it serves the majorly Irish businesses well.
Very good. And how long have you been operating as an entrepreneur?
So I started my venture back in 2022.
Okay.
Yes.
So 3 years nearly are you into it?
Yes.
Yeah. And is it profitable?
It is indeed.
Very good. Very good. And you happy with this?
I am indeed. It's quite satisfying when you work for small and medium-sized businesses, as I have to go to different businesses, understand what the business is. Every business is different. So we have to understand what their needs are, what their customers are, what are their marketing needs are. So based on that and understanding their whole concept, we give them the solutions.
Lovely. And do you operate individually yourself, or do you have staff to work with?
I have a team of 5 people.
Do you have 5 people? Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Interesting. So you are expanding, so to speak.
Yes.
And where do you want to go, say, for instance, in 5 years' time?
So I see myself expand my team and at least have 200 to 500 customers in my portfolio.
Okay, that's very ambitious, but you are doing very well. And would you use sometime these people use the back-end and staff back in India to support? Do you use that as well?
Yes, so partially our team is based in India.
Okay.
And I have 3 employees full-time based in Ireland.
Okay, very good, very good. And that's substantial operation. In fact, 3 people locally and then backup staff in India and all that. So that, and let me have a look at your book so I can talk about it again. Your wonderful, venture and academic venture, how to create your own business vision, your own analysis. Author Vanditta Agarwal, and Vanditta is in the studio talking about that. And the business she runs it is called Articulate Digital Business. And if you really want to reach her out, the website is there, www.articulatedigitalbusiness.ie. And that's where can you get that book, by the way? Is it available in the bookshops?
Yes, it is available on Amazon at the moment, and you can also read on Goodreads.
Oh, Goodreads. Okay, lovely. Good response from the book?
Yet it's just 1 year since the book is there. So I have first launched the book in Navan, where the mayor of Navan was the first person to buy the book.
Lovely.
And he publicized it among everyone in Navan and also posted on his social media account.
Lovely.
So he applauds the book a lot. And since I have sold few copies of the book, so I am looking for the success of the book in the coming years.
Lovely. And does the online version, digital version available online, this book?
Yes.
Or is it available?
It is available on Amazon.
Amazon, yeah. Lovely. And how much is it, by the way, a hard copy?
So I am offering it for 15 euros.
Oh, lovely. That's very reasonable. That's extremely reasonable. Thank you very much, Vanditta, for your lovely venture out and, marketing, creating a opportunity for a lot of people who need help in this whole area. Because a lot of people, would not be au fait with the kind of technological development and with the fast pace that is taking place these days. So obviously you are doing a great job and you're helping those people. So once again, I would like to thank you for coming along in the studio, and I wish you all the best for the
Yeah,
your
just
venture.
for the audience, I would also like to say on 8th of December 2025, in next week, Monday, I am organizing the LinkedIn marketing workshop. It's an online workshop from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. If anyone wants to join, the tickets are on Eventbrite. You can just log in from there and you'll be getting the automated Teams link. And it's all about how to promote your business on LinkedIn and get your clients through LinkedIn. So if you're interested, please do join my workshop.
Super. And I wish you the best of luck for the workshop and for the book and for your rest of the venture about this digital marketing. Thank you once again for coming into the studio, and I look forward to perhaps dropping into the LinkedIn workshop myself. You never know. Thank you, Vandita. Vandita, beg your pardon. Now, this is a development that is taking place here in Ireland by our own young entrepreneur who came as a student, but now they are thriving in their own businesses and doing a fantastic service to the community, to the business community, and to the worldwide at large. But now, time to take a break, and I must take a track now before it gets too late. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this particular track.
आँखों में सारी रात जाएगी, तुमको भी कैसे नींद आएगी। ओ खोया खोया चाँद, खुला आसमान, आँखों में सारी रात जाएगी, तुमको भी कैसे नींद आएगी। ओ खोया खोया चाँद। मस्ती भरी हवा जो चली, मस्ती भरी हवा जो चली, खिल खिल गई ये दिल की कली, मन की गली में है खलबली कि उनको तो बुलाओ। हो खोया खोया चाँद, खुला आसमान, आँखों में सारी रात जाएगी, तुमको भी कैसे नींद आएगी। ओ खोया खोया चाँद। तारे चले नज़ारे चले, तारे चले नज़ारे चले, संग संग मेरे वो सारे चले, चारों तरफ इशारे चले, किसी के तो हो जाओ। हो खोया खोया चाँद, खुला आसमान, आँखों में सारी रात जाएगी, तुमको भी कैसे नींद आएगी। ओ खोया खोया चाँद, ऐसी ही रात भीगी सी रात, ऐसी ही रात भीगी सी रात, हाथों में हाथ होते वो साथ, कह लेते उनसे दिल की ये बात, अब तो ना सताओ। हो खोया खोया चाँद, खुला आसमान, आँखों में सारी रात जाएगी, तुमको भी कैसे नींद आएगी। ओ खोया खोया चाँद। चले जिनके लिए हम मिट चले हैं जिनके लिए बिन कुछ कहे वो चुप चुप रहे कोई जरा ये उनसे कहे ना ऐसे आजमाओ हो खोया खोया चाँद खुला आसमान आँखों में सारी रात जाएगी तुमको भी कैसे नींद आएगी ओ खोया खोया चाँद खोया खोया चाँद खोया खोया चाँद खोया खोया चाँद खोया खोया चाँद
जी मेरे भाइयों, खोया खोया चांद, this is a very hit song, as you probably would know that there's another film has been actually made on the same title called Khoya Khoya Chand. So that's as a Rasya Geet I'm playing today, and Rasya Geet has got a good bunch of songs that they have actually offered me to play in my show today. So sit back and enjoy the tracks. But before I go into the next track, I would like to recap on this particular app that we were talking about. And by the way, this The Root Cause of All Evil is another book by Cormac Moore. Cormac Moore is a wonderful guy. He's a historian, and he has written a book on the Irish boundary, the boundaries between Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland. And this book has been driven by the Irish Boundary Commission. There's a commission exists, which is basically defines the boundaries, that what is Northern Ireland, which is Southern Ireland, and all that. So if you get a chance and are looking for a particular present of, for Christmas present for people and things like that, so you probably would go to pick it up, this book. And it's an interesting book. Cormac was on RTE Radio 1 this morning talking about this particular route, this particular book called The Root of All Evil. You know, you must have heard about the land, how the land can be the root of all evil. And this is what led Mr. Zelensky to fight back with Russians when they grab Crimea, when they grab the part of Ukraine. And when you actually encroach the land of another country, obviously it triggers the war. And we are quite familiar ourselves in Kashmir on this particular issue, that how the land is divided between India and the neighboring country called Pakistan. And it was divided by the British when they were leaving the country. And when they left the mess behind that in the form of Kashmir, which is still a bone of contention, and the land in dispute. Certain people are claiming their land and things like that. And that is also the cause of, sometime terrorism, sometime recently, as you probably would heard that we've covered in that program that quite in length, the bombing in Delhi, as Red Fort and all that. So land is the root of all evil, and that is by Cormac Moore. And if you are interested to know more about how Ireland, north and south, is divided, and how these two countries are particularly are interested in making peace, not making peace, and continuing on and so forth. And obviously, the two major conflict that happened in Pahalgam and Pulwama. Pulwama was the first incident, and then Pahalgam, so we're still in the so-called Operation Sindoor, by the way, and the Counter-Terrorism Act is going on, it's triggered up, and ongoing conflict with the neighbouring Pakistan is also going. But these are all three things are interconnected: the Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland, and of course the Ukrainian and Russian war. Where it's going, nobody knows, because it is dangerous, and I would urge you to play an active role to know what's going on between Russia and Ukraine, because last year my film festival's the theme was Make Films Not War, Peace in the World. in India, we believe in peace, and India is a land of peace, and we promote peace, in fact. And therefore, I picked up the theme, Make Films, Not War. And I designed a suit which was in the color of Ukrainian flag, and I invited the Ukrainian ambassador, which didn't happen because she had to fly to Ukraine on an emergency basis. So we lost her, but otherwise she would have been part of that. So anyway, this is what the films and television and creative program are all about. That's what it is. But I will play another track, and the time is running out very fast. The clock is always beating me. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this particular song.
इस दिलरुबा का नजारा हो गया, आँखों ही आँखों में इशारा हो गया, बैठ बैठ जीने का सहारा हो गया, आँखों ही आँखों में इशारा हो गया, बैठ बैठ जीने का सहारा हो गया, आँखों ही आँखों में। ही आँखों में इशारा हो गया, बैठ बैठ जीने का सहारा हो गया, आँखों ही आँखों में इशारा हो गया, बैठ बैठ जीने का सहारा हो गया, आँखों ही आँखों में। आँखों ही आँखों में इशारा हो गया, बैठ बैठ जीने का सहारा हो गया, आँखों ही आँखों में इशारा हो गया, बैठ बैठ जीने का सहारा हो गया, आँखों ही आँखों में इशारा हो गया, बैठ बैठ जीने का सहारा हो गया, आँखों ही आँखों में। चलो एक बार फिर से अजनबी बन जाए हम दोनों, चलो एक बार फिर से अजनबी बन जाए हम दोनों। न मैं तुमसे कोई उम्मीद रखूं दिल नवाजी की, न तुम मेरी तरफ देखो गलत अंदाज नजरों से, न मेरे दिल की धड़कन लड़खड़ाए मेरी बातों में, न जाहिर हो तुम्हारी कश्मकश का राज नजरों से। चलो एक बार फिर से अजनबी बन जाए हम दोनों, चलो एक बार फिर से अजनबी बन जाए हम दोनों। पेशकदमी से मुझे भी लोग कहते हैं कि ये जलवे पर आए हैं। मेरे हमराह भी रुसवाइयाँ हैं मेरे माजी की, मेरे हमराह भी रुसवाइयाँ हैं मेरे माजी की। तुम्हारे साथ भी गुजरी हुई रातों के साए हैं। चलो एक बार फिर से अजनबी बन जाए हम दोनों। चलो एक बार फिर से अजनबी बन जाए हम दोनों। तारुफ रोग हो जाए तो उसको भूलना बेहतर, ताल्लुक बोझ बन जाए तो उसको।
Chairman Bhaiyo, that's again, I'm staying with the kind of like an old song these days. And it's a purane gaane, and hopefully you like the all-time hit songs. So time is really running out, and I am now left with few minutes, but in fact, and so I would like to thank my guest, Vanditta Agarwal, all the way from India, based now in Ireland, running a successful business here. So please do follow and see that, what she's up to. It's a digital marketing digital marketing business entrepreneurship. And I would like to give a plug to her book again before I go. How to Create Your Business Vision, Your Own Analysis. Author Vanditta Agarwal. And this is a book available at the www.articulatedigitalbusinesses.ie. And that's the name of her business. So once again, I would like to thank her for coming in the studio and, giving us opportunity to talk about herself and her business. So I'll leave you with this song and see you next week. Enjoy the weekend. Bye for now.
आज मुक़द्दस है फरिश्तों की तरह, कांपते हाथों को मिल जा।